everybody, how's it going today? Let's see how many weird hand movements I get into the beginning of this manga haul video covering every single manga volume I purchased from the beginning of July of 2025 all the way to the end of February of 2026. And those of you who have watched the channel for a long time may be like, wow, Glowplasma, this is a very weird period for you to be talking about the manga you bought in, because like at first you did it every single month, and then you did it seasonally, looking at every 3 months, and then the last manga haul video on this channel was looking at every single manga volume I had bought in the period of the first 2 months of the year, that's 6 months, and for some reason we are looking at 8 months right now. And there's a few reasons for that. Mainly, I recorded a manga haul that should have been out way before this. That would have been the July to December of 2025 manga haul. In that video, we don't talk about what happened in that video. And since then, I bought some new manga volumes, and I figured like it wouldn't make sense for me to like not count those as I'm recording this in the beginning of March. So here we are to talk about a lot of Viz published volumes, a lot of Kodansha published volumes, and some other things as well. So honestly, there's no reason not to go ahead and just get into it. So yeah, let's just talk about all of the manga I bought in an 8-month period. Starting off with 2 volumes, Marriage Toxin Volume 1 and Ruri Dragon Volume 2. Now, Marriage Toxin is an interesting one because this is a Shonen Jump Plus series that I have read before. I've read up to, I think, what is considered Volume 7 of the manga, and then dropped it at that point to read later because I absolutely adore this series. It's such like a fun, cool premise, and I wasn't planning on picking this up for a long time, but like, just look how beefy this volume is, especially compared to Ruri Dragon 2 right here, right? This is an amazing series following our protagonist Garo, who needs to find a marriage candidate. He needs to become a husband so his sister doesn't get married off to somebody she doesn't want to be married to. And he gets the help of a marriage swindler named Kinosaki, who is a guy but also a girl. Like, we don't really fully know. Kinosaki is a guy but dresses like a girl to swindle people out of their marriages. And the two of them team up to help Garo find a bride, pretty much. And this is a fun series, and one that I probably wouldn't have picked up for a long while, besides I saw it at a discount store for like $4, which is really good whenever you look at the new Shonen Jump cover price of, yeah, $11.59, and I don't particularly love that, but there's definitely a reason for that. Let me quickly find it real quick. It's somewhere later in this volume. I should have like put in a note card here first to know where it was, but you know what? Sometimes Glowplasma doesn't think all these things all the way through, so hopefully nobody strikes me. But if you see right here on this page, there's like the black ink covering most of it, and at first I thought it was like an effect because it'd been a really long time since I read the beginning of the series, and then it happens again a few pages, probably about like 15, 20 or so pages later. So, of course, that's why this book was probably on a discount at that store. And, of course, what I can do, I've got a Shonen Jump membership. I'll probably just go online, download the pages, print them off, and sort of, like, shove them in there using, like, printer paper. But just a little bit of a warning out there, because I've never seen this misprint in a manga volume before. So, it's out there. And then, of course, Ruri Dragon Volume 2. We got, of course, our main character here, Ruri, who is going through a slice of life journey, trying to figure out how to navigate her new world of all the dragon powers. I absolutely adore this series, and whenever it first went on hiatus after volume number 1 and came back about 2 years later, this is the first set of chapters we got from that, and I just absolutely love Ruri Dragon, and I'm very excited to pick up volume number 2 here. So yeah, those are the first 2 volumes here. Next up, we got a little bit of a series as we go into the Bugle Call volume 2, 3, and 4. I'm pretty sure at this point, I've actually got my purchases spreadsheet open right in front of me, and at the point I'm recording this video, yes, in February, the Bugle Call volume 5 did come out, but I never managed to pick it up. But this is just a treat of a series following these characters known as Branch Hexed as they go to try to reclaim the Spire and also beat this enemy called the Garland. It is just so much fun seeing our characters such as the Pontiff, Zoe, who is probably my favorite character in the series, and eventually getting into the whole Glass Kingdom arc as we look at the Looking Glass branch text is what their sort of power ability is called. But not to spoil anything, but this is a series that all of you need to get out there and read. It is just so fun and creative, and it has given me a lot of inspiration for writing stories of my own in just a short 4-volume span. It's a monthly series that runs in Shonen Jump Squared, or Jump Squared if I'm not mistaken, but I also could be wrong on that. But these volumes are just a treat all around. Just look at the beautiful art on the covers of them, and like there's so much baked into all of this, and just a great series. I don't want to spoil for anybody, but just go out and read it on your own time because I love the Bugle Call Song of War. Another series that I love for obvious reasons is Kagurabachi, as we look at volume 4, 5, and 6 of the manga. Of course, this is a series that I've covered on the Glowplasma channel, and it's really fun because I think here in Volume 5 is chapter number 44, which was the first chapter of Kagurabachi that I ever covered on the YouTube channel, which is like just a really cool thing to now own that physically in my hands. But there's not much else I can say about Kagurabachi. It is a revenge story about this boy named Chihiro. After his father died, he's going off and trying to recollect all of the enchanted blades that his father forged for the war. We have the brilliant volume 4 cover here of Chihiro and Hakuri on it. We also have the volume cover here with just Kiora, Chihiro, Hakuri, Hiyuki, and then the Aruha, Hirohiko, and Samura all making their cover debut here. But yeah, just beautiful volumes. Not really much else to say about Kagurabachi besides that I absolutely love it. And yeah, that's good old Kagurabachi. I love Volume 4 cover. I'm so happy to have it on my shelf. I love Hakuri. He is just like so cool. And then is a volume that I'm just going to show on its own because I did not want this. This is Dandadan Volume 5. Dandadan, of course, is this very popular manga. I think about this guy who gets like his nuts stolen or something. I read like the first 10 chapters a long time ago. With like I random scanned like fan translations, all that. This is before like Viz actively picked up the manga and started translating it. So I think like Dandadan at that point had like 20 chapters out. Like there wasn't much Dandadan to be held. And I only got this volume because my friend is an idiot. And in the past, he's been like, well, I actually went to the store and I bought this manga volume I already had. Do you want it, Corbin? And I'm like, sure, I'll take it. And Dandadan is one of these, so I may as well just count it being like, hey, I own Dandadan now, but like, I have not read this thing. I do not know anything about it, but it's sitting on my shelf because one day I intend to read Dandadan and I'm sure I'll love it so much. And I already have a volume. That's pretty cool. I think his name is Gigi, and I think he's got a power called the Evil Eye because spoilers exist, man. I don't really know. But, yeah. Going on from there, we have the Elusive Samurai Volume number 6 and Kaiju number 8 Volume 14. Kaiju number 8 Volume 14 was actually a Walmart purchase of all things. I walked into Walmart one day and they had a Kaiju number 8 volume on the shelf, and so I picked it up. It's actually a little funny because I don't own 13 at this point, so I go from like 1 to 12 all the way to, nay, we now have 14. Bro, I don't even remember who this character is on the cover. Kaiju number 8, I think, just has 16 volumes out, and that's the end of the series, so this is getting pretty close to the end right there, but, yeah, that's Kaiju number 8, volume 14. I ain't got much to read about it. I do like the orange volume cover, though. It looks pretty nice. And then the Elusive Samurai, volume 6. Same sort of thing happened with this series where I had volume number 1, and eventually I somehow acquired volume number 7, and in the process, before I go through and collect all of the other volumes of the series, I was like, you know what, let me find volume 6 somewhere. I picked it up, and here it is in my hands now. I have not reread this volume since it originally debuted in Shonen Jump, so I don't really remember what's going on here, but look, hey, Kojiro is on the cover, and that's pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? But not really too much else to say about these two besides, hey, man, they're pretty neat. And speaking of neat is what happened to the next series I'm going to be talking about today. As we take a look at My Hero Academia volume number 42, My Hero Academia volume number 42, and My Hero Academia volume number 42. With the final volume of My Hero Academia, Viz was like, you know what, let's look at all of the major manga retailers in the United States of America, because this was like a American thing. As, oh yeah, Barnes & Noble, makes sense, Books A Million, makes sense, huh, Walmart, you know what, sure, they got the licensing deal, good for them. But they released all of these alt variant covers of My Hero Academia 42 that, if I wasn't a big fan of My Hero Academia, I would not care about these at all. But for some reason, I was like, you know what, I love this series, I love Deku, I love Bakugo, I love Todoroki. Let me pick them all up. But what you may notice is I don't have a certain regular cover of volume number 42, because I thought it'd be fun to be like, hey, buy this one at Barnes & Noble, at Walmart, and at Books A Million. And also, let me buy the first volume of My Hero Academia, or the final volume of My Hero Academia, where I bought my first manga volumes ever. And it's a spot down a very long way away from me in just another state even. I'll be there hopefully in April of 2026 and I can pick up that volume, but until then, I'm going to let that volume sit on the store shelf there and have like a big full circle moment because I bought a volume of My Hero Academia there. I'm like, let me finish the series off by buying another volume of manga there. And yeah, I love these covers. They're sort of weird, wacky, but don't be fooled. All they do is just have the same exact content in them. Like, the back is even the same, right? But let's just get a good look at Deku there. good look at Katsuki Bakugo, and of course, Shoto Todoroki. Books A Million is my retailer of choice, and it got my favorite out of the trio, so I'm not complaining there. And then in this month, or in this span of months, My Hero also just ruled my life for another reason. I reread the entirety of the manga with the anime ending, and in the process of that, I also got back into the spin-offs, as like, hey, here's My Hero Academia Team Up Missions Volume 4. I had Team Up Missions Volume 1, 2, and 3 sitting on my shelf. I bought them whenever they initially released, and I'm gonna be so real, I had never read them. And then I read it and realized how fun Team Up Missions is. I saw this post online, and I'm really sorry I don't remember who said it. It was on Twitter somewhere a good amount of time ago. But it said that My Hero Academia had the Star Wars problem, where all of these great IPs are created and all of these great characters, but you never see them truly interact in fun ways. And that is what Team Up Missions is. Like, I never really cared about Ojiro and Hagakure as much until we saw a chapter of them going to some random island and helping out some young kids explore and just get used to the wilderness. It was an amazing chapter. We have this whole thing about Class B and Class A. Like, it's not just that they appear in one arc and don't really do anything else. They're constantly there beefing with each other, having a great time. Monoma is this force of antagonist. It's just such a good time, and I love My Hero Academia Team Up Missions, and this is Volume 4, of course. We have a little bit of a story with Hawks in here. I'm going to be upfront. I have not finished this volume. I am like halfway through right now, and I just need to sit down and finish the rest, but this manga volume came before, or this manga haul came before I could finish the volume here, but yeah, I love My Hero Academia Team Up Missions, just a good time. And the My Hero doesn't stop there, so we have Vigilantes 1, Vigilantes 5, Vigilantes 6, Vigilantes 12, and Vigilantes 15. Yeah, I watched the Vigilantes anime, and it was like, damn, this is actually pretty good, and of course I watched it right before Season 2 started to air, which was also just like a little bit of an awesome thing, so I ended up picking up off of Amazon volumes 1, 6, 5, or no, what am I saying? 1, 6, or 1, 5, and 6, I can't count, and then of course 12, but 12 is a little bit of a weird volume because it's just so thin. Like, it's honestly, it makes me think it's fake, but it's obviously not fake. Like, everything is good with the volume. It is just unusually thin for a manga volume, especially like, how many pages does this thing have? It's got like 80 something. Let me just check like the final chapter. Yeah, it's on 153, so it's on like 180 pages, which is just weird for it to be that thin of a volume, but either way, it is what it is. I really have nothing to say about Vigilantes besides it's just a really cool and interesting series in addition to the regular My Hero Academia story. Yeah, dude, it's just a fun series. I'm really enjoying watching the anime right now, and hopefully at some point I'll sit down and I'll reread all of the manga once I have all of it collected, but of course I still have a way to go at this point. But yeah, there's the final volume right there. I actually picked this up on its own from a comic book store in Ohio, of all things. Long story there, but yeah, that's where I picked up this volume. Fun story behind it, and the rest of them I just ordered off of Amazon because I had some money on Amazon I had to burn, and well, that's what we bought. It was some volumes of Vigilantes. And that's all of the Shonen Jump Line stuff. Wow, actually went through a whole lot faster than I thought. I guess we'll now move on to some Shonen Sunday books as we just look at one, which is Rai 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 Volume 1. Now, this was a series that I saw online whenever it first started, and I'm like, well, that looks like a very interesting volume cover, like, what is going on here? And I then picked it up, and I read it. I don't know, it wasn't my favorite manga I've ever read the first chapter of. It's very similar to Kaiju number 8 in a way, of course, which we showed off earlier. Let's see if I can find the volume. Here's Kaiju number 8, volume 14 again. But this series is very similar, where this girl, I don't even remember her name, is it on the back? Sumire, that is her name. Wow, I totally didn't forget that. Ends up, like, somehow becoming a kaiju as, like, a kaiju destroyer or something. I don't really remember. It has been a few months since when did I first buy this volume? I've got my spreadsheet open. Yeah, August of 2025, and I read it that month. So it has been, like, 5 months since I read this book. And I found it interesting, but definitely not interesting enough to go ahead and pick up the next few volumes of the series. Maybe if I come upon, like, a windfall of money at some point, I'll be like, yeah, you know what, let me check out the rest of them. But for now, this one's just going to sit on my shelf, and we may get to it at some point. But yeah, that's Rai Rai Rai, volume number 1. It's a very, like, interesting stark yellow cover for sure, as I can say that about it, you know? Then, as I've mentioned plenty of times, we move on to the Viz signature line and Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, volume number 4 and volume number 5. Volume number 6 has come out during this period, but I just have not picked it up. I will at some point. But this is just a beautiful series, blending the medium of manga and the card game Magic the Gathering together. If you don't like Magic the Gathering, this manga probably isn't for you, but I'm going to tell you to check it out anyways, because it's just fun focusing on our main character, Hajime Canal, and of course, like, hey, we have Emi Satowari here, and Shakumo, that's what her name is, and yeah, just seeing how all of them sort of were, Sakuma, I'm gonna be real, Glowplasma doesn't always remember manga character names. This is just a very fun series, blending Magic the Gathering with manga, and it's just such a fun time to even come with manga, or with Magic the Gathering cards in the back of them, which, hey, there's 18 cards, which once I get all of the volumes, I'll pick them out and I'll put them in a card game binder, pretty much, but this is just a beautiful manga, but not really much to say about it here as we're getting into volume 4 and 5, but check it out if you like card games or if you like manga. It's just a great time of a series, and I'm so glad that Viz picked it up. Like, my life is complete with this announcement, pretty much, right? But moving on, we got a few Viz signature line books left as we get into Snowball Earth, volume number 6, and Made to Skate. First off, I want to talk about Snowball Earth, which is this series about this guy who is like, oh, my name is, what is his name? His name's Tetsuo. He's not on the volume cover. This is a character named Nayuta. But pretty much it's like, oh yeah, the world is coming to an end and we're fighting these kaiju monsters off in space. But oh no, we lost, and now the Earth is being covered by kaiju. And it's just a continuation of the story. I really love the events that happen as they're sort of starting to flee Mishima Mall. And yeah, it's just a great little time. I love Nayuta. I also love the color purple, so I'm sort of biased to this volume in sort of every respect of the word, right? And then we have Made to Skate, which is just a really fun sort of one-shot volume collection of stories about maids who use skateboards to make people's lives better. It was just a little bit of a fun read the entire way through, and just like a killer cover art too. Like, look at our main maid here skating, all of the groceries flying out of the bag. Just a really good time, and a manga I definitely recommend. If you want just like a solid one-shot volume, check out Made to Skate. Like, you just can't go wrong with it. And finally, from the Viz published line is the oldest manga volume that I actually own. And I found this in a thrift shop, again, in Ohio of the United States. I don't know where I was going with that. I was about to say, like, Ohio, North Carolina. No, Ohio is the state. And there I found Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma 1/2, volume number 11. And let me find the copyright date on this thing real quick. Yes, December of 2000. And you also may be like, wow, Glowplasma, that looks so weird. That manga volume is set up the wrong way. And compared to how manga volumes are set up now, yes, it 100% is, as, would you believe this? It's just an old manga volume whenever Viz flipped all of the panels and make it, like, easier for a Western audience to understand. Just a really cool book here, and one that I got for half the price of the cover price, which was, it's going for, like, I think this book was, like, yeah, nearly $16, and it's got, honestly, like, a very interesting, like, matte cover as well, just not like any manga volume I've ever seen before, and of course, because of that, I wanted it on my shelf. Now, did I need to buy this? No, but I thought it was just, like, a little bit of a cool ride. Like, and yeah, this book is 26 years old at that point, and that's just pretty cool to me. And, like, all considered, it's not that yellowed. Like, whoever had this obviously kept it in good condition, and yeah, just a really cool volume there. And that is all of the Viz stuff. So now we can move on to Kodansha published titles with Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister volume number 5 and The Fable Omnibus volume 6. Of course, containing volumes number 11 and 12. Bro, I really have not much to say about these series. I love Tying the Knot with the Amagami Sister and just wish I could find it in bookstores. So I'm pretty sure Kodansha is, like, very much, like, not printing many copies of this series, which means that I need to get all my copies and just get them on my shelf. Because this is a pretty fun, it's a harem series revolving around this guy named Uryu, and this shrine where he's got to live to be able to go to school, and of course focusing on these three girls, Asahi, Yahei, and Yuna. This is Yahei on the front cover here, and yeah, there's really not much for me to say about it, besides it's a pretty cool volume focusing on the beginning of the bigger Yahei arc. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. Of course, I own it in book form, you know? And of course, we then have The Fable Omnibus Volume 6. I have not read this volume. The last Fable volume I read was volume number 4, and I own 5 and 6. I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet. I love the art style in these volumes that Katsuya Minami has. It's just like so real to life and something I've never seen before in manga, which makes it just a really fun read at the end of the day. Definitely check out the Fable. It is a good time. Then we have 5 volumes of The Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity in volume number 3, volume number 4, volume number 5, volume number 6, and volume number 7. This series is just such a good time, and the anime came out earlier last year in 2025, and because of that, I'm like, hey, let me pick up the manga, let me see what this whole series is about, and very quickly, like, all of these volumes were bought within 1 month of each other, because, like, I think these were all bought in July, just because I was so hard into this series, I was enjoying it so much, and I still do really enjoy it. I just haven't been back to the bookstore really since to pick up more volumes of it, but I just love this series. Volume number 5 here, of course, volume number 6, 7, 4, and 3, it's not how you count, but just a good time. I love seeing our main character, Rintaru, interact with our main heroine, Kokoro, and of course, just like all the relationships that get made there, the friend that, Kokoro has, I forget her name at this point, and one of them is Minami Sawa, I think, and like all of the friends. It's just very wholesome and very much a companion in a Weekly Shonen magazine to Blue Box and a Weekly Shonen Jump, if you sort of know what I'm saying. But just a good time, but not really much to say about it. It's just paints such a fun relationship, and I just absolutely love it. Look at that. The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. Moving on, we then have Gaiatima Volume number 2, or Gaiatima the Giggins by good old Kent. It's a continuation of Gaiatima. I don't know, this volume's a little weird, and the fact of it is just so small, and it's also, what is it, $14. I know I'm not like the guy who's sitting here being like, well, I don't buy manga volumes because they're too short. Like, I'll buy a manga volume if I really enjoy the story, and I do enjoy the story here. It's just, you know, man, I don't really know about this story right now. I do like the whole premise of, like, Gaiatima and these kaiju, not tamers, but, like, they're orbs, and they summon them, and it fights, and Gaiatima's on the main hero side, but I think I'm going to pick up one more volume of the series at some point. I mean, at the point where I'm recording this in March of 2026, let me see, Gaiatima Volume 5 has already come out, so, like there's plenty of material for me to go out and pick up in the world right now, but I just simply haven't. But here is Gaiatima Volume number 2, and look at that pretty, like, harsh, like, cut line. Like, they want to make sure this spine stays rigid, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's Gaiatima Volume number 2. And then comes to a manga I have never read in my life, which is Yuri Is My Job, Volumes 1 and 2. I found these at a thrift shop. They were very cheap. I picked them up. I know nothing about this series. I'll read it at some point, but for now, they are on my shelf with some pretty misaligned spines, but you know what? Whatever. At the end of the day, it is pretty fine. But yeah, Yuri Is My Job, Volume number 1 and 2. Bro, at some point, I just don't know what to say. I pick up manga volumes because they're cheap, and that's how I ended up with these, right? And then the final Kodansha published volume is a brick. As you look at the Blue Lock Omnibus Volume number 1, containing volumes 1, 2, and 3. Now, Blue Lock, it's a soccer series wildly popular in Japan. And you know what? I picked up the first volume all the way back in the beginning of 2023, because people were like, this series is very good. And then it sat on my shelf until August of 2025. When I picked it up, I read it and said, you know what? I really enjoy this book. It was actually pretty good. And then, of course, I heard, well, if Blue Block is getting omnibuses, then why should I buy all the single volumes? I'll just buy it in the omnibus. And man, am I glad I did. The day I bought this volume, I read it, and it was just such a fun volume from the beginning to the end, sort of seeing all of our characters too. Of course, I'm pretty sure our main guy is, Isagi, I think, but I've not read enough of the series to know all the characters yet. But this absolute brick of a volume, the beautiful blue of the spine as well. Let me lift up the camera a little bit so you can sort of see that volume better. It is just such a treat to read. It feels like such a nice, heavy book in a different way than the Fable omnibuses do. Like, this is nice. This feels deluxe, and I'm pretty sure they're even coming in at, like, close to the same price point. Yeah, they are the same price point, and you get one whole extra volume here. Of course, this is more premium paper in the Fable omnibus, while it's, like, more closer to newspaper in the Kodansha one here, but of course not as newspaper feeling as the Viz omnibuses are. But of course, those come in at a much cheaper price point and in a smaller form factor as well. But this is just a brilliant volume. If you want to check out Blue Lock in a new way, definitely check it out here. And I am so excited to pick up all of these omnibuses as they come out in the future, because just like, damn, this was an amazing book to read. And Blue Lock, you have me sold. I want to read more of you and figure out like all our characters. Like, it's just such a fun series. I don't really know what to say about it, but Blue Lock is pretty cool. Moving on to all of the 7 Seas published books, I want to start off with Orb on the Movements of the Earth, volumes number 7 and 8 in the omnibus form. I read Orb volumes a very long time ago. It must have been like the end of 2024, and I picked up the beginning of the series. And at the time I was reading through all of them, just volume number 7 and 8 just hadn't come out yet. And now they're out, so I can finally go and add it onto my shelf, and someday I'll go through and finish this series, but it's nice to see the completed, like, they're just on my shelf. It's really awesome. I like them all being there, and I've heard Orb is a great series, and I really want to finish it off in this final volume, but it's been so long where I'm just going to be better doing a complete series or reread. And yeah, that's Orb on the Movements of the Earth. And then we move into some manga volumes I have not read at all, as we get into Spirit Circle volume number 2 and volume number 3. Now, I've been shopping at Books A Million for a very long time. And one day I was in the great state of Virginia, and I was going to a Books A Million in Virginia. And I went in and I sort of walked around, looked at a manga, then was walking around in the back of the store when I saw some manga volumes on a clearance shelf, which I have just never seen before. And sitting there were Spirit Circle volumes number 2 and 3. I have heard of Spirit Circle. I have heard people say this is a brilliant manga series and it's just such a fun read and sort of emotional and all these other things. I don't know. I've never read the series. So, you know what? I picked up the second and third volumes. I'll check them out at some point, man. But yeah, here's Spirit Circle. I know nothing about these, so don't judge me, but I think they're pretty cool. I had to take off a lot of stickers. Like, there's a sticker here, the sticker here, 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 and here. Like, there were 6 stickers on each of these 2 volumes, and oh, they took forever to take apart and make these volumes look as nice as they do now. Felt like this big blemish in them, but hey, that's Spirit Circle. And also in that discount bin, I found another series in Alice and Zoroku, volumes 2, 3, and volume 4. Again, I know nothing about this series. I think that's an old man. I think that's a young girl, and I think this old man, like, adopts this young girl, and it's the 2 of them living together and figuring out, like, slice of life stuff. Bro, I don't know. This series could be terrible for all I know, but I picked it off the shelf because, like, I bought all these volumes for $5. Like, bro, cheap manga is like my arch nemesis because I just buy it and then I don't read it. But hey, Alice and Zoroku, if you guys know anything about the series, let me know in the comments. It's published by 7 Seas, so that could either be great or it could be terrible. Like, I really don't know what I'm in for here. But yeah, that's Alice and Zoroku, volumes number 2, 3, and 4. And that's all the 7 Seas volumes, but we have 2 others from 2 radically different publishers. First, we're going to start off with good old Tokyo Pop, as we take a look at Star Collector volume number 2. Now, my philosophy going into buying manga in 2026 is to not really buy any new series unless there are series I just can't live without. Like, Ichi the Witch is starting its run in manga form, or at least in English published by Viz, and it actually started off in February, I think, of 2026. And as much as I love Ichi the Witch as Shonen Jump manga, I am not going to purchase it, because what I need to focus on is finishing all of the series on my bookshelf. And one of those series was Star Collector, a BL manga about these 2 guys. It's been, I think it was like 2023 whenever I read the first volume of this, and it has been a long time since 2023. But of course, there's just 2 volumes of it, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me pick up volume number 2. I ordered this off of Amazon with my other My Hero Academia volumes. But yeah, here it is in the moment. I have not read it yet, but I plan to at some point. But it's just one of these things. It's a 2-volume series. I mean, it was the same reason I went ahead and bought, if I can find where I put it. Oh, where did I put Orb? I don't even, oh, there it is. I don't know why I was so blind. That's also why I picked up Orb this month, or in this set of months, was just to pick up the volume and have it on my shelf, complete the series altogether. And that's what happened here with Star Collector. So a fun little series from the first volume, and it's really, I've never read Boys Love before, but you know what, it was pretty good. I enjoyed my time reading it, and here's the second volume to finish off the series. And with that, to finish off the series, I have Saigami Volume Number 2. This is from an English, of course English, but another American publishing company called Saturday AM. I have some problems with this company. It's all about, like, hey, making these diverse manga and bringing them from all around the world. And this story right here by Cine is actually from, oh, what is that flag? I don't want to look like an idiot, so I'm not going to say anything, and I should be more worldly than I am, but I thought that was a flag I was going to recognize, and off-rip, I just don't. Bully me in the comments, please, for not knowing what that flag... Oh, I feel so bad. But either way, this is Saigami Volume Number 2. And I have a lot of problems with this company of how it treats some of its mangaka, and this mangaka is no exception. Cine here, who published this series in their sort of magazine for a little while, and in the process of all of that, well, they had some disputes, or I don't know any of this for sure, but from what I've heard, they've had some disputes with the publisher, and for that reason, this is the final volume of this series that was published. I have volume number 1, and in the faith of just trying to support the artist, I bought volume number 2 because I really enjoyed the story here. I love the art and really everything about it. But there were some issues where, like, I'm pretty sure this volume just ends off with more to be had, but there just is no more to be had because, well, there were some internal disputes with it. But all of that being said, I picked up volume number 2 here just because I was like, hey, let me go finish off the... And if you're wondering why there's graph paper here, there's a really sticky sticker here that I just couldn't get the residue off of. So just to be able to slide it in and off the shelf, I put some stuff there. And you know what? It slides fine now. But yeah, this is Saigami Volume Number 2. And man, I'm going to be real, that's a manga haul. My voice is tired. Who'd have thought that talking for 30 minutes straight would do that to you? But let me just grab all the volumes down. How many volumes did I pick up this month? I actually didn't count before I started the video, so I guess we're going to do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, would you look at that? It is an even 45 volumes in this... Again, what is it? This, let me also mute Discord. I probably shouldn't have had that unmuted the entire time. In this 8-month period, so if we average it out, 8 divided by 45 is like, what? 6 or so books a month, which, you know what, being a college student who is also broke, that ain't half bad. But normally at this point in the video, I do my favorite, like, manga recommendations for all of the books I bought in this period, and just to be absolutely clear with you, there is just, like, no challenge here. The 3 volumes I'm just going to recommend to everybody to check out if they are a manga fan in general are Destroy All Humans They Can't Be Regenerated. I absolutely love and adore this series. The Bugle Call, it is just such a fun time and brings a new take to Battle Shonen I haven't seen in a while. And I'm going to be real, I really love this Blue Lock Omnibus. I know it's nothing new to new manga fans, but damn, was it not just a good read? And with all that being said, thank you guys so very much for watching this video on my manga haul from July of 2025 all the way to February of 2026. It has been a joy to talk to you all day and show off all of my manga, and yeah, hopefully I will be back to talk to you all in 4 months, or maybe even 3. We will just see however many manga volumes I buy. Like, I used to do these things when I had like 2 manga volumes to show off. I don't do that anymore because I think it's a little weird, but I want to make sure like I've got substantial volumes to talk about in these things. So hey, we got 45 this month, and maybe I'll be back soon with another manga haul here on the channel. So of course, thank you all for watching. If you want to watch my other manga hauls, there'll be a playlist down in the description box down below with all of the manga hauls I have ever done in it. And yeah, check that out right there. Maybe subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys soon for another manga haul. This will be Glowplasma. I can't even do this. All right, we're gonna have to like take these out. Boom. Signing out.